Hello and welcome to episode 2, part 1 of our Hunter journey. We find ourselves back in Durotar. We're running to the south. We've got several quests that we immediately want to work on. And for this part of the stream today, I don't have a huge amount of time available. So I want to get right down to it. I want to get on with questing as quickly as possible. And we also want to consider talents. I think it's generally regarded that improved aspect of the hawk is a better option over the pet increase. So go ahead and grab that. The thick hide sounds pretty decent. I don't care about the dodge bonus. Probably thick hide and improved revive, I guess. Damage done almost certainly. Oh, the pathfinding is also super nice. Grab obviously all of the leather that we're able to. A pre-killed line of skinning is always nice to see, especially when it extends in the direction that we're going anyway. So we're gonna go over to the island, see what we can see. We're looking for the tiger fur eggs. That's completed and we can hand it in later. There are the eggs. Doesn't look as though there are any tigers up there. Hello, David Bronzebeard. Good evening to you as well, sir. How are you doing? We're just trying to get as much done in the relatively short amount of playtime that I have. I'll be able to stream a bit more later tonight, but not so much right now. Well, we finished getting a warrior to 60 2 days ago, and as was promised, while we're waiting to do warrior dungeons and tanking, we're starting leveling a hunter as well. It's a nice change of pace from a warrior. It is. This is Soulseeker. Soulseeker, yes. I keep forgetting the name of the server. So all the characters that I play are self-found as well. So that just extra bit of challenge. And to make it clear that we're not getting outside help, I upload all of the VODs in full to YouTube, so that we're not getting boosted, we're not getting assistance, we're not, we'll party with people along the way, in questing areas that are tricky, but we're not going out of our way to get assistance from other people. Most of it's fully solo. It does. It makes it more fun, I think. If you solo some hard content, it also makes it more authentic. It makes it more as a standard player would experience things. Don't get me wrong. Occasionally, it's fun to watch fully twinked out, crazy leveling stuff. But if that's all you watch, it kind of gets old fast because it's all just too easy. So the overall aim is to level one of each class to 60 without dying. When you say official, do you mean era servers or like the previous hardcore servers like Stitches or what? Yeah, I can't speak for the NA's ones. The EU servers, certainly Horde side, is very pleasant. I think I've run into maybe 3 unpleasant people in the entire time that I've been playing here on Horde side. There are more unpleasant people on the Alliance side for sure. I think I played 2 characters to about 20, and there were just, it's a different mindset it seems to attract for some reason on Alliance side. I don't know why, I can't explain it, but the 2 communities just seem to have a very different vibe. It took a long time for me to find a decent group of players on Alliance, whereas on Horde it's like the reverse. It took me a long time to find people who weren't decent players. You're part of the Deviate Delight group. Yeah, so I don't know what it's like in NA. Oh yeah, the PvP server would people have a lot of egos on PvP servers. That is most definitely a thing. That's fair. I mean, if you want to play and you're sick of the toxicity, I can't say I blame you. I mean, I imagine as well that the NA servers would potentially be impacted by like the OnlyFans doing event stuff there as well, which has now, as I understand it, concluded. But it'll have had quite a big impact for the last few months. I think overall the important thing is that you get to, yeah, they're on. This is hardcore as well. Soulseeker, hardcore, self-found. The way I think hardcore communities, I think, they just seem better. In a similar way, actually, to how communities on roleplay servers seemed better. It just seems to again attract that generally a different type of person. So the people you find yourself playing with are, on the whole, just nicer. So if hardcore is something that perhaps appeals to you, I can certainly recommend it as far as a community is concerned. In dungeons, I haven't had any issues pugging Horde side at all. I mean, I obviously that I can't speak for North America again, but certainly EU Horde side, no group issues. Everyone's respectful, listens, works together. If you do, it's worth a try. And if you're looking for a guild to join, I would suggest the one that I'm in. It's a very friendly, chill leveling guild. Back to Brill. The people in charge are nice folk. Very helpful. I think they're very encouraging for people who are just starting out. That's our guild leader, Decimatrix, chatting at the moment. Often a lot of banter back and forth. There are a couple of really vocal people who like to have a laugh. Yeah, that's fair. No, no pressure. Just trying to find you a decent playing experience. It can be tricky at times, that's for sure. And yeah, I liked Wrath of the Lich King as well. Aside from Classic, I think it's my next favourite expansion. Trial of Champions aside, that is. Yeah, I was much the same. I played vanilla and I quit partway through Burning Crusade because the areas just didn't feel like finished. It felt like there was stuff missing. But I came back for Wrath. I'm glad I did because it was a great expansion. So I only have one bad memory from Wrath of the Lich King, and that was the Trial of Champions raid. That was it felt a little bit of a chore. But it was only one raid, so it didn't really ruin things completely. Did I just lair? Or does everything just respawn? So you played private servers for about 6 or 7 years. Yeah, I do hear that from a lot of people who've sort of fallen out of love with one expansion or another. I think I quit retail. Was it the end of Mr. Pandaria? And it was only them re-releasing Classic that really brought me back. I do think Classic is the most superior version of the game. Wrath had some fun stuff, for sure. But Classic just... They get it. They get the world. It's the world stuff that makes the difference. For me, anyway. Yeah, see, I thought I was over Vanilla 2 after doing the Classic in 2018. But I really wanted to try Hardcore. And Hardcore makes everything infinitely better. Like, yes, it's a world that you know, but it just has so much more danger and everything matters. And it's just that extra emphasis on you know, if you lose, you lose everything. That makes everything feel worthwhile and feel alive. And there's that genuine sense of loss if someone that you're playing with loses their character. Especially if it's, you know, another high level. And though, you know, those deaths do still happen. But like even the leveling journey, it's not a walk in the park. There's still difficulty and challenge to it. Although I do think equally some people do seem to die a lot on the same content. Yeah, I would agree. It's about finding the right people to play with. I certainly think I've found that as far as EU Horde Anniversary server goes. I mean, Horde is, as I said before, I generally find it's better. It it seems to attract a different mindset person that are nicer in general. Hardcore amplifies that. The roleplay servers amplified that in um, both in original vanilla and um, like 2018. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I recommended this guild, because they are sort of pretty chill, relaxed. You know, they're just here to play and have fun. They're not here to do anything crazy. They're not making demands on members. They're not pushing people overly. They're just encouraging people to play, to have fun, to level. Like if you die over a certain level, they'll provide you with like fresh stuff from the guild bank to start over. Yeah, I would say that's a good thing. Give it a try. Don't have any expectations. Don't put pressure on yourself to or don't do anything. But see if you find it fun. I've certainly found a lot of fun with the additional risk that's involved. And people are just happier working as as a team together generally, you know. Yeah, I know all about server nonsense. It can be a pain to get things running and operating smoothly at times. And good luck with that. I studied computing at uni, and they can be very fickle and frustrating things. Oh no, who died? Oh, Chill Collins. Syndicate Wizard. Oh, it's the higher level camp just above Tower Mill. A mage death. I haven't done anything regarding server operations for, I think, about 8 or 9 years now. I'm glad to have moved on from that. Yes, that's exactly the sort of problem I really hated trying to identify and track down. Inspecting a character while standing on a rock while the breeze blows out of the west on a Tuesday. Like there's always just that one extra random criteria that makes the problem harder to find. Yes, exactly. You think you've replicated it, but some unknown, seemingly unrelated variable is slightly different. I've been much happier since focusing more on systems analysis. At least then everything is like properly quantifiable and definable. And it's more about how sort of boiled down you can get the data. Yeah, that sounds nicer. It's much better to be delegating than to be trying to be the one identifying the individual pixel that's the problem. Ah, good. It will eat. It will eat that. Right. It's looking as though we'll probably have time to do the securing the lines quest as well before we run out of time. Earlier in the morning you were sitting and testing and the Playwatch just started to act dumb. How long did it take you to solve that one? Yeah, 4 gig doesn't sound like it would be suitable, certainly. Yeah, memory isn't something that I like to underdo anyway. I would always prefer to err on the side of caution as far as the memory types are concerned, be it RAM or cache or whatever it might be. It's always better to have slightly too much than not enough. It's annoying that it can be expensive at times, of course, but it's one of the most significant bottlenecks if things do start to cap out. Yeah, it's definitely easier on virtual machines than with hardware. Yeah, I haven't even looked into doing cloud virtual machines. That just sounds like effort. If I'm running something like that, I'd much prefer to have it to hand should something go wrong. Much easier to fix that way and troubleshoot. So, got a quick respawn there already. Yeah, I mean some of the respawns are simply down to the hyper spawning code before layers have kicked in properly. I don't know if they had additional issues than that, but most of what I saw when servers sort of freshly launched was down to hyper spawns rather than anything else. It's certainly not a different bug or anything, but hyper spawns are just intended in certain areas. Okay, I wasn't aware that there had been that issue for those servers. I was aware that some people were saying that there were respawn bugs, but the conversations I had around that turned out to be people not understanding how hyperspawns worked, because they were always talking about the specific hyperspawn areas, like the is it the Duskwood wolves, like the werewolves, and like Skull Rock, the that Stone Talon cave. Where was that? Trying to remember where the other common hyperspawn was. Was it somewhere in Redridge? I want to say somewhere with gnolls. But I think that one was another open world area rather than enclosed. So yeah, that's the first I've heard of actual quick respawns being a thing in other locations. Yeah, I mean that makes sense too. The Murlocs respawn pretty quickly anyway, from what I understand it. I do recall actually seeing some hardcore clips from Redridge Murlocs with sort of quick respawns being the death of a few people. So maybe that was around that time. I assume it was addressed and brought back into balance. I mean, that's it, isn't it? Like, essentially, succeeding at leveling in vanilla is patience, is clearing in a pattern so that you know things will spawn in or respawn in a particular order. It's giving yourself enough time to get into and out of the cave area without causing extra issues. So many of the death clips that you see are often down to people running erratically or like pulling extra mobs, but then not like running out the way that they entered the area, but running out in exactly the opposite direction. And because that direction isn't clear, they pull like 3 or 4 extra things on the way out, and it's like, what? Why did you run that way? The other way was safe. The other way you could have just run away into space, kited the thing out, and let it reset. That way, you pulled 4 more things and died horribly. We'll skip the bow, even though it's better, because we're going to buy one from a vendor in like 3 bars of XP. So it's not really worth it. And then we've got Fizzle's Claw and Lieutenant's Insignia to catch up on later. And Lost but Not Forgotten as well. I think Mage Hardcore requires one of 2 like direct mindsets, pretty much. Either you're happy single target fighting everything and you don't mind about speed, or you want to do the AoE pulls, but the AoE pulls are often awkward, dangerous, kind of sketchy. You end up needing to potion a lot. You end up needing to potentially wait for cooldowns a lot as well. I haven't done AoE mage leveling hardcore yet. I'm going to give it a go, but at the same time, I'm a little concerned about how it feels and how dangerous it actually is. And I see a lot of mages pop up in the death log to overpulls, to trying to AoE mobs that are significantly higher level than they are. And that's a player issue, really. You say you ran up 2 characters? Yeah, what class was the second one? Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's not always easy to play with a group solidly. I mean, especially on hardcore with you know, people can die when you're not there, and then they're not there to play with. I mean, it's one of the reasons I guess I enjoy self-found because there's no pressure to play with anyone. You're not waiting for people to be online the same time as you are. You know you know what you're doing when you're doing it, and if people happen to be around to group with, that's great. Otherwise, you can you know, go on with questing, do a dungeon, you know, just enjoy your time playing. Um, yeah, so unfortunately, my time now is drawing to a close. I've got to be somewhere in 20 minutes roughly, so I need to prepare to head out. We did a lot more than I was anticipating today. We cleared all of the island quests and we even got the harpies done, which I'm very pleased with. It's been nice to talk to you, David Bronzebeard. Thank you for joining me. I hope something I've said has helped you in some way. As for the Hunter journey, I'll be getting on with Dark Storms and Hidden Enemies and the inevitable Lost but Not Forgotten later this evening. Probably quite late, maybe around 11 my time. So getting on for 12 server time. But yeah, that was a good amount of progress today. So I shall say, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.